this is the first Super Bowl ever where two black quarterbacks are going to be facing each other. And Doug Williams is important because he's the first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl with Washington there. And, of course, he's been interviewed and he's been on several platforms in the last couple of days just detailing that and talking about these two guys. And we actually had a guy, I had put up the post. I put up the post, and again, I tell you, Pink, we're kind of connected. Our YouTube is kind of connected to HBCU world, HBCU land.
Yes.
And as soon as I posted the picture of what we were going to be talking about tonight, there's a grambling guy he comes under, and he's just having a whole discussion about Doug Williams and grambling. And that's awesome because we love grambling, we love HBCU football, of course, and Doug Williams is a product of HBCUs, and there you go.
Yeah.
What do you think about these two quarterbacks going to be facing each other and the importance of it and where black quarterbacks have come?
I love the matchup of the two quarterbacks. I love the significance of this is a first that happens. Now there's a certain disappointment that it's 2023 and Super Bowl 60 at this point that this happens. But to be a second, to be a third, to be normal, you have to get by the first. And so in that perspective, this had to happen.
Yeah.
And it's happening now. So let's be thankful for it, and let's have a great game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it will be. It's the Eagles have a better team, a better roster, but you have the Mahomes factor, you have the Andy Reid. I think the Chiefs have the coaching advantage, the quarterback advantage, and tight ends.
What do you think of Nick Sirianni?
I think I don't know enough to have a complete all around thought on him. But I how can you complain?
He's done a good job, but
he's a great motivator.
It seems like there's a little bit of dick in him.
Yeah,
he's got a little bit of that feisty dickhead vibe going. But again, I think this particular Eagles team is embracing that and rallying around it. But I do think it could be a hard vibe to carry when the success isn't there. He may not be a guy that's capable of building through adversity.
And we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, but that's my
will.
Cautionary note on the early vibe of Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
So in 3 or 4 years from now, when he gets run out of town on a 4-12 team, post this clip, Bubba.
What do you think of this? I was watching a podcast where they were talking about Mahomes and Burrow, and they were trying to find the comparison, right? So some people were saying, of course, this is the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, right? And the one guy was like, well, if it's a Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, one has to be one has to be the other. And then, then they're going back to Magic Bird and stuff like that. And then this one guy says, well, I don't think it's either of that. I think Mahomes, this is the guy saying that, I think Mahomes is Tiger Woods and everyone else is the field. You're going to have the Mickelson come up. You're going to have so-and-so come up. Like, there's going to be, like, you're not going to win every single time, and there's going to be a different challenger. Like Burrows won't be there every year. Some years it might be Herbert. Some years it might be Burrow. Some years it might be Jalen Hurts. Some year it might be this. But Mahomes is going to be the constant. Now, I see you shaking your head, but the thing I will say is he's been in the league. He's been a starter 5 years. He's been in 5 division championships and 3 Super Bowls. That's kind of Tiger.
Tiger was different.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger was unique in a different way.
Yeah.
Like Tiger, I mean, Mahomes does some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan. But Tiger completely changed the environment and mentality of golf.
Mm-hmm.
And that Pat's not doing that. For all of his success.
But
Tiger got golfers in the gym.
Yeah.
At the professional. Like that didn't happen. That was non-existent.
I think you're comparing the athlete and their success. This is comparing his situation to Mahomes' situation.
But I think that there's a big divide in that. Like I don't think Tiger's a good comparison. I think Tiger's what he did is just at a crazy place.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this was the guy that was identified from when he was like a teenager. He was like LeBron. Like that's a better like this guy that we know he's coming.
Yeah.
And and then here he is, and he's doing everything his damn father told he was going to do. That's different. That's so out there, and that's kind of what I don't think is a fair comparison. And that, to me, that is the gist of what Tiger Woods was. Like, you have all those crazy Earl Woods quotes about, like, you know, he literally is talking about his son as like a messiah, which obviously he fell short of that.
Yeah.
But, like, when he's reeling off, you know, 4 Grand Slams in a 12-month span, you know, you're just like, what the fuck are we watching right now? And as great as Pat is, it's not that. But I don't think the Magic Johnson thing, and because that was just that had like an important like cultural race element to it that's not present with Pat and his rivals. Brady, Manning, like he's at that level. Nobody's consistently gotten to that level to be Brady or Manning, however you want to characterize Pat.
Want to do it, yeah.
So it's just not there right now. He's just the best guy going right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, until, you know, and it weirdly, and I remember we had this conversation before he played Brady in the Super Bowl, was it's like, if he loses the Super Bowl, which he did, he'll never catch Tom.
Yeah.
And I still believe that. But it doesn't mean his greatness, you know, isn't going to be great. But, you know, the way we have to look at Burrow, though, Burrow had this unique little winning streak over him that he lost. And do not underestimate what he did with the bad ankle.
Yeah.
I mean, he put on an absolutely incredible performance. He played error-free football on a bad ankle. He had the guts to, like, run a handful of times, not a ton, but when he needed to run, he ran. He threw balls off that bad ankle at times, knowing it was going to hurt like hell. And he just played a great football game with all that going on.
Yeah.
And the stakes of going to the Super Bowl. That was, in a lot of ways, that was as good a performance as he's probably ever had, given essentially a disability that he dealt with on that stage. That was absolutely freaking incredible. So to me, he's the best there is right now. He's got a chance to you know, continue to compile some crazy stats. Nobody to me has reached true rival status. If Mahomes or if Burrow won last week, the conversation's alive.
It's a lot different.
But I think it's because of the way that game played out. Mahomes just showed you who he is.